All right, so welcome everyone. This is the Intermacs PDmacs user group call for today, June the 25th. You may have noticed that this is Nancy speaking. Patricia is out today, so I'll be taking over the webinar duties from Patricia today. So I just ask for your patience and grace when we get to the Q&A. All right, so on the call with me today from the STS, I have Leanne Jones and Sydney Clinton. Then from Kirkland Solutions, we have Maceo Cliche, John Pennington, and Brandon Singletary. So welcome and thank everyone. I thank everyone for joining. All right, so for today's meeting, we will go through some STS updates. We'll talk a little bit about reporting. We have some information about AQO, and then we'll have Q&A at the end. This is just the STS team and the Intermacs Data Warehouse team, if you need this information. Wanted to start out today by mentioning the Intermacs and PDmacs quality webinars. We would love to hear from you. If you have done a quality project at your site or your center using your Intermacs or PDmacs data, we would love for you to share that information with everyone on a future webinar. It really is helpful to know what's going on at the sites. It helps everyone do a better job. Maybe you're doing something at your facility that other sites have tried to implement or would like to implement. We would love to hear from you. So if you have a quality project that you want to present, just reach out to me or to Patricia, and we'll get you scheduled to present that on a future webinar. Speaking of future webinars, our upcoming schedule, the Intermacs Quality Assurance webinar will be on July the 17th at 2 p.m. Central. And then our user group webinar will be on July the 30th at 1 p.m. Central. Quarter one reports will be distributed on Monday, June the 30th. And then I have listed here the schedule for the rest of the year. I want to take a look at that. Brandon is on the call today, and he has some reporting updates. So I will turn it over to Brandon, and I will stop sharing.
Thank you, Nancy. I was wanting to report that we are adding some new exhibits to both your monthly data quality DQ reports, as well as the quarterly reports within the Intermacs registry. So some of these edits might be able to be in the future expanded to PDmacs reporting as well. But for this cycle, we are going to be adding the following new exhibits to these reports. So for those monthly reports, we are adding an additional exhibit that's going to list patients that are missing follow-up or have not had contact with that patient in over a year, with a little bit of the information as you can see here. So for instance, if a patient follow-up form is completed, but yet the status was marked as unable to obtain follow-up, or the patient was not, did not come to the follow-up, we won't be considering that as patient contact. So, ignoring those follow-up forms that are completed with that status, as well as if there has not been any adverse events or any other registry endpoints documented that we're considering as a contact point with that patient. And so what this will look like is just a printout of a list of patients, those patient IDs, implant date, the actual number of days since that last known touch point, and then the date associated with that last known touch point. So, dates for an AE or dates for the last follow-up, and then a list of those patients that you'd be able to then go back into your records and find for, why that patient is either missing the follow-up, or in some instances, we found this could be an instance where a patient maybe just missing an endpoint form. So they death form was not completely submitted, or follow-up forms were still being edited and not completed. So be on the lookout for that on your DQ report. And then for the quarterly report, we've added a new exhibit. This was at a request from a few centers as well as from STS to look at rehospitalization. So in your adverse events section of the quarterly report, you'll see this new exhibit within that list of adverse events, breaking it out both for your center as well as the aggregate Intermacs group of rehospitalizations overall, as well as planned and unplanned rehospitalizations. So there's several different reasons for rehospitalizations that are listed on that rehospitalization form, and we've gone through and identified the ones that were both planned and unplanned, and then we've defined those as you see here as an example of what that table might look like. Additionally, when looking at this exhibit for 30-day readmissions, we wanted to confirm that these were readmissions from 30 days from discharge, not from implant. I think that had been a question in the past from centers as well. So these are 30-day readmissions from discharge. We've added some additional language in the exhibit title as well as the description to make sure that that's well known. And then finally, the exhibit related to clinical events and interventions that happened during the implant hospitalization. I think there's been some confusion in the past around these types of events and why some events may have not shown up that happened at the hospitalization but occurred after the implant. And so we just wanted to clear up that for this exhibit, this is all pre-implant information. So anything that's happening during the implant hospitalization, but yet prior to the implant form, and then making a note that anything happening after implant would then occur, either on follow-up forms or adverse event forms. And so, as you get this quarter report as well as this month's reports, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or Maceo. I'm happy to address any concerns or questions related to these new exhibits or just anything else in general on these reports. And as Nancy said, be on the lookout for those early next week.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
Sure. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Those are some nice enhancements to the reports. Let me see. All right. Okay, we'll switch gears now and we'll talk a little bit about AQO. AQO 2025 for Intermacs and PDMacs is coming up September the 23rd. This will be a live virtual Zoom forum. The audience, this conference is for data managers, VAD coordinators, quality and outcome staff, and really anyone who would like to attend. Our focus is going to be dedicated exclusively to Intermacs and PDMacs registry content. It'll be a full day interactive event. So we're really, really looking forward to hosting this for you guys. Some things to expect. You'll have opportunities to connect with presenters and peers. We'll go over reporting tips, data abstraction guidance, and we will have live presentations and Q&A with the Intermacs and PDMacs team. All right. This is just a breakdown of our agenda for our Intermacs and PDMacs virtual forum. We're going to have, prior to the main event, we're going to have an introduction for new data managers. All are welcome to join for this pre-event, but it's mainly going to be geared for the newer data managers. It'll be a panel forum type presentation where we'll go over where to find things on both the Intermacs and PDMacs platforms and also the STS website, data abstraction tips, where to find the user's guide, who to contact for questions, and it'll be more like a networking time prior to the main agenda. So we're really looking forward to this. Some of the other presentations that we'll be offering on our forum, we're going to have a high-level overview of the Intermacs and PDMacs databases. We'll be talking about the Intermacs patient profiles. We'll be going over the upcoming adverse event revisions. We'll also be presenting the Sherry Ann Wisman Memorial Excellence Award. I'll talk about the Intermacs platform upgrade. We'll talk a lot about dashboards, Power by dashboards, the Kirkland Solutions dashboard overview. We'll have the user experience with the Intermacs and PDMacs dashboard. We'll have a presentation interpreting operative reports for the implant form. We'll talk about how to code temporary devices, and then other device coding in the Intermacs and PDMacs database. And then we will talk about how to apply your Intermacs data for site level quality improvement. So it's a very packed, very informative agenda. I know all the presenters are very excited to provide this content for you, and we are really looking forward to having you attend. Just wanted to speak a minute about the Sherry Ann Wisman Memorial Excellence Award. This is an award that is given every year to a VAD coordinator who demonstrates loyalty, dependability, and selflessness. A VAD coordinator that is supportive of fellow employees and patients, and also contributes meaningfully to the quality of life for VAD patients. You can submit your nominations on the STS website. There is a link to the online form to nominate your VAD coordinator. Nominations close Friday, August 8th, sorry. So be sure to get your submissions in, your nominations. If you have any questions, you can contact Emily Conrad. You can also contact me, Nancy Honeycutt, and Patricia, if you have questions about that. This is a breakdown of the registration fees. So early bird pricing is now in effect. Standard pricing will take place after July the 16th. This information is all on the STS website, if you need to reference it. So to register, you want to go, like I said, to the STS website at www.sts.org. At the top of the page, click on Education and then go to Calendar of Events, and this page will pop up. you can click the Register Now button. You will have to have a login to register. If you've registered for AQO in the past, it'll be the same login that you used for that. If you have any issues, contact membership@sts.org if you need help with that. So if you're signing up for the Intermacs and PDMacs virtual forum only, when you get to the registration page, you'll just want to be sure that you select Virtual Pass plus Intermacs Virtual Forum. And then you'll get to this pop up here and just fill out that information. If you're registering for an in-person session and also the Intermacs and PDMacs virtual forum, you will select the 1 day or the 2 days if you're attending more than 2 days. So for example, if you're attending ACSD and Intermacs virtual forum, you would select 1 day. If you're attending ACSD, CHSD, and Intermacs virtual forum, you would select 2 days. Then when you get to the next page, you would select ACSD and Intermacs PDMacs or whatever, which of the other databases you're attending. Hope that's not too confusing. If you need any more information about AQO as far as schedule, agenda, pricing, and then also the Sherry Ann Wisman Award, just visit the website under Calendar of Events. Believe that is everything. Also, any questions or concerns, anything you need help with, feel free to contact me or Patricia. And here's our contact information. And we will move on to the Q&A. Let me see if we have a couple questions here. Hopefully I can answer. So let's see. Lori is asking, is there a link to the QA meetings? Lori, I think you're talking about the quality webinar, and there is a link on the STS website for that. And then Angela, will AQO include any sessions on automation or similar initiatives to make abstraction easier? We don't have anything on the agenda as far as automation or AI, but we do have information coming on how to use your dashboards and that sort of information. We'll have that for you at AQO. We'll give just a moment to see if we have any more questions coming in. It's going to be a very short webinar today, I believe.
Nancy, someone has their hand raised. I don't know if you
Oh,
want
okay. Yeah, sure. Let's see. All right, Tasha, you can unmute.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sorry, this is just easier to say versus type. So I'm going to be presenting the tips and tricks for data abstraction this year for AQO, and I would love for those that are on the call. I think from previous webinars, we've heard that the most of us kind of figured this out as we learned, right? And now we've been doing it for years and we kind of know our groove. But I'd love to hear, since this is geared more towards those that might not have quite as much experience, what do you wish you would have known beforehand? What things would have been helpful to those that are out there that were just starting out? Because I'd love to be able to pull that into it somehow. Can I ask that? Email you, me, I don't care. It can be answered here. I can type my email in the box, whatever you guys think is best.
Let anybody that wants to answer Tasha, you can raise your hand and we'll take you off mute. You can talk about what you want to hear, or you can email Tasha. You can always email Patricia or I, and we can get that over to Tasha as well. And Tasha's added her email to the Q&A.
John has his hand raised.
Thank you, Leanne.
No problem.
Those hands just pop up. You can unmute, John.
Hi, good afternoon.
We can't hear you.
Um,
I hear you, John. It's just really quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, great. So, being a relatively new user to Intermacs, but not new coordinator, the trip down to San Antonio seems like maybe a lot of fun and all, but do you think the virtual format would be just as good as the live?
So at the live conference, there will be no Intermacs or PDMacs content
Oh,
at the in-person sessions.
oh,
So
okay.
the in-person sessions will be for the adult cardiac surgery database, congenital heart surgery database, and the general thoracic database.
Okay, so the Intermac stuff is strictly virtual.
Correct.
Okay. And
There
there
will
was
be some networking events at
Thank you.
the live sessions that you would be able to attend.
Yeah, I can see that.
okay.
But the content for Intermacs and PDMacs will be virtual only.
Okay. And there was a fee to that though. It was like $550 or something like that.
The in-person sessions were $850. The Intermacs live virtual forum alone is $550.
Okay. So yeah, because you're saying live virtual, that's what just confused me. I'm sorry. It's just
Yeah,
it's all the live virtual, meaning it's all via Zoom. Okay, got it.
right.
It's $550. Great. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's great questions. All right. We had some questions come in. Can you show us where the quality meetings are on the website? Yes. I will try to pull that up here. And then Julie is asking, hi, I'm new to Intermacs. Why can I only see the last quarter report on 2024 on my dashboard? And I didn't get any this year. Brandon or John?
Sure, I'm happy to answer that.
Okay.
So the way that the reports work is they go out quarterly and then they cover the data through the previous quarter. So for instance, the reports that went out in March was data coverage through the end of 2024. These next round of reports that will go out on Monday will cover everything through Q1 of 2025, and so forth. So your report that you should have received in March covers through 2024, as you mentioned in your question, and then this next round of reports will cover everything through the end of March of 2025, and then so forth moving forward.
Brandon, in those reports, there's the cumulative report, which would be everything historic, and then you also have like the last 2 years or something, right? Like there's a recent report.
Right, and it'll be I think it's the last 6 quarters of data.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
Sure.
All right, and then Lori is asking, will there be CEUs for the virtual Intermacs session? Yes, there will be CEUs for the virtual Zoom Intermacs sessions for AQO. More information to come on that. Let me, I have the website pulled up for Lori also. This is on the resources for data managers page. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of that page, you can see where our webinars are. You can also view past webinars on the YouTube channel. So if you click while I have this web page up, I can show you where the AQO information is. You would go under education and then down to calendar of events. And you can send that letter to your leader to hopefully support your attendance at AQO. All right. Let's see if we have any more questions. So Lori, the quality meetings will be the Intermacs user group calls. We'll do our quality webinars on the user group webinars. All right. I don't see any more questions coming in. Oh, okay. Sorry. So Sarah's saying I cut out for like 30 seconds. Sorry about that. Lori, the meeting on July 17th is the quality assurance webinar, and that will be posted on the website with the other webinars. All right. If we don't have any more questions, oh, show us how to get to the webinars again. Yeah, sure. One moment. All right, so to get to the webinars, go to research and data.
Oh, you're not sharing your screen,
I'm
Nancy.
not sharing my screen. Here we go.
There you go.
All right, here we go. We're in business now. Okay, from research and data, go to for data managers, and then you will scroll down all the way to the bottom. And here are the links to our webinars. Our July 17th quality assurance webinar is not posted up yet but it will be before the 17th. And if you want to join, you would just click on Join Webinar. So what time? The July 17th Quality Assurance Webinar is at 2 Central. All right. If there aren't any more questions,
Employees can also pursue a civil claim in state court.
if there aren't any more questions, please reach out to Tasha. She wants to have your ideas for her AQO presentation. Her email is in the Q&A. You can also reach out to me and I can forward that to her as well. And we will see.
Yep, are you still there, Nancy?
I'm still here, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Still here. I was find something there. So I was just going to put up the information for the next webinar for everyone to see before we sign off. The Intermacs Quality Assurance Webinar, July 17th at 2 Central, 3 Eastern. And with that, thank you all for joining. And we will reconvene on July 17th. Thanks so much, everyone.